right, welcome to yet another fabulous Sunday night news and nonsense. Well, actually, it's Saturday night toss today because I think you're fishing with dynamite tomorrow, aren't you?
Yes, I have a big night tomorrow night. I have to pick up my stuff down at the marina. Oh, wait a minute, that's supposed to be a secret. Shh, scratch that.
Now, let me ask you, is it dynamite this week or depth charges?
Well, they were having a sale on the depth charges. It was 2 for 1, so I couldn't resist.
So, at any rate, yeah, so it's the doubleheader tonight. We've got news and nonsense, and guess what? Guess who takes the first slot in the news? Richard Stallman enters Internet Hall of Fame. The Free Software Foundation founder and activist Richard M. Stallman, does anybody know what the M stands for? It's beyond me, has been inducted into the 2013 Internet Hall of Fame along with Aaron Swartz, Jimmy Wales, and John Perry Barlow. Who the rest of those people are, I haven't got a clue. Stallman, known for expressing his candid views on subjects which compromise users' freedom, wears many hats. He founded the Free Software Foundation, wrote most of the widely used software licensed the GNU GPL, created the GNU project, and much more. So that's good news. He's in the Internet Hall of Fame. Not quite as prestigious as the Digital Millennium Award that Linus Torvalds got,
Right.
But hey, there's some recognition for you right there.
Yeah, not quite as prestigious. I was going to say the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but anyway, I think the M stands for, to some people, perhaps, Spatchy, the M stands for madness. But hey, I can't knock.
Say it isn't so. Say it isn't so.
It isn't so. But no, look, we have to give credit where credit is due. He's one of the founding members for the free software movement. And in some ways, Spatria, he is a genius, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, Linux, in its bare beginnings, probably, if it wasn't for his contributions, because Linux being just the kernel, at least with this kernel and then some of the GNU software in the bare beginnings, this allowed it to take off and flourish. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of Linux, Spatchy, one of your favorites, one of my favorite, the folks at Linux Mint, they just released the latest versions, or the release candidates of XFCE and KDE. Sounds like radio call stations live from WXKDE and XFCE. It's the Spatchy show, but no, I'm just making a joke there. But yeah, I think that's the entire distributions that they offer, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah, interesting. And speaking of which, now we all know that Mint has an Ubuntu base, and Ubuntu is rushing Mir and Xmir into Ubuntu 13.10. Now I saw a video on Web Update, and it showed it in action. And let me tell you what, folks, it actually looked pretty cool. It has all the compositing effects, and it looks pretty sharp. And we know this has stirred up a lot of controversy because developers are afraid they're going to be having to change their code in order to get, their applications to work properly under Mir. But from what I could see in the videos, it looks like this is something that might be pretty cool. And the neat thing about this is designed to work across multiple platforms, such as your tablets, your cell phone, and now you can bring that into your desktop. So I like how it looks, but how well is this going to work with other derivatives or other distributions? Too early to tell, but I really did like what I saw. So if any of you get a chance, definitely visit the Web Update website, have a look at that video and see what people are saying about it. It's looking pretty interesting.
Cool. Well, Spatchy, I know you are a Linux gamer. The latest thing coming out of Linux world for gaming, the Ouya gaming console sold out on Amazon in one day. And I found out what Ouya means. O is openness, U is universal, and then the Ya, or they say Ouya. So congratulations to the Ouya team.
Now let me ask you something. If they port Halo over to that machine, will you dump your Xbox?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. And speaking of boxes, The new Mint Box 2 is on its way.
Oh,
Last year, Linux Mint Project, in association with CompuLab, introduced the Mint Box, a tiny Mint computer about the size of a cable modem. It's tiny, it's silent, it's extremely versatile, so said Clement Lafarbe, founder of Mint. Well, today, Lafarbe previewed the next generation Mint Box. In June 2012, the original Mint Box shipped with 1.0 gigahertz dual-core CPU, 4 gigs of RAM, and 250 gigabyte hard drive for $476. Not a bad price, mind you. Yeah. And a Pro version upped the CPU to 1.65 gigahertz and RAM to 8 gigs for another $73. Still reasonable. Linux Mint 13 was the operating system then, featuring the Cinnamon desktop.
Yep, I use Linux Mint Mate or Mate Edition. It's a throwback to the old GNOME 2. For all the folks out there who missed the GNOME 2 interface, check out Mate or Mate. It's the new GNOME 2 in my opinion, as I like to call it. It's great. I also have Cinnamon installed as a desktop environment. I log in and out back and forth when I'm in the mood for Cinnamon, but I prefer Mate. So if you like the old, the pre-Unity Ubuntu looking stuff, slightly modified, I would check out Linux Mint Mate.
And it would stand to reason, on one of those devices is that if you don't like Linux Mint, you should be able to install any distribution that you'd want on it, and it should work fine. So that would be an added plus.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how they're, making these smaller devices that are literally like an appliance that you could just hook up to a TV and have a complete desktop operating system on it. Awesome work.
Technology has no boundaries, has battery?
None whatsoever.
I have some more gaming news. Speaking of gaming consoles, Google, I think, was announced or speculated they're coming out with their own gaming console based on Android this fall, in addition to a smartwatch. Here we go with the freaking wristwatches again, Spatry. What is it with watches?
I don't know, but I'm still waiting on the smartwatch that will help me measure my blood pressure and other health characteristics.
Well, maybe there's a problem with, families telling time in this country. I had a thought of a husband asking the wife, "Hi, honey, is it time to go to the bathroom?" And she says, "Well, according to my Google Watch, honey, not yet." "Okay, I'll just poop in my pants. Goodbye."
Oh goodness, and more in the gaming front. For many of you who loved Half-Life 2 when you were running Windows, well, guess what? It's now out of beta phase, and so now you can get your copy of Half-Life 2. It'll run natively on Linux. And of course, Voltem, the founder of the Linux distro community, suggested that I have a look at Team Fortress 2, so I downloaded that today and started playing the tutorials on it, and I was just amazed at how cool that game looks, and it's funny too. Yeah, absolutely. So Toss, if you are a fan of Halo, you might want to consider giving the Team Fortress a try. It's a nice first-person game, and it has a nice multiplayer component in it. Fun characters. Loads of fun. Great for the kids, the older kids, because there is a little bit of blood and gore in it. But yeah, good.
And that
good
is called
stuff.
Team Fortress, you said, right?
Team Fortress 2, and it's free to play.
I might check it out. I might have to break out my desktop that I have in storage with the NVIDIA graphics card and see if I can get it to work, and that's stable. So we'll see. Well,
now that Torvalds has given NVIDIA the love finger, you should be able to find a decent driver for it.
I totally agree, yes. Well, here's something that'll make you laugh, Spatcher. You remember not too long ago the, how shall I call it, the camping trip between Apple and Samsung?
Refresh my memory.
The little court thing, back and forth on who took whose ideas, with the phones.
Yeah.
Well, starting in 2014... but I think you'll like... Yeah, I know. But I think you'll like this. Starting in 2014, surprise, surprise, Apple, they will no longer be using Samsung's chips. What a surprise.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's been a lot of heat between the two of them, so that does not surprise me at all.
I know. I just found it amusing when I read it.
Okay, well, you like Star Trek, don't you? I got a little bit of nonsense news, but
okay.
I guess there's some truth to this. Astrophysicist Eric Davis is one of the leaders in the field of faster-than-light space travel. But for Davis, humanity's potential to explore the vastness of space at warp speed is not science fiction. Davis's latest study, Faster Than Light Space Warp Status and Next Steps, won the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, try and say that 5 times fast, AIAA,
No, thank you.
2013 Best Paper Award for Nuclear and Future Flight Propulsion. Tech News Daily recently caught up with Davis to discuss his new paper, which appeared in the March-April volume of the Journal of the British Interplanetary Society, and will form the basis of his upcoming address at Icarus Interstellar 2013 Starship Congress in August.
Cool. There was other Star Trek news, Spatry. Scientists are hoping to have, I think in 5 years, a real-life deflector shield. Like the one they use on the starships. Basically, you know how we talked about sending people to Mars, and in some plans one way. Of course, why would you want to go one way? But one of the problems, of course, is radiation, right, and shielding. And what a deflector screen does is put up this. Now, I'm not an engineer. Someone may correct me, but I believe it puts up a magnetic shield to shield you from the radiation. And they're working on a prototype now and hope to have this ready to go in 5 years. But Spatry, there's a problem. They're not sure if they should call it Linux deflector screen or GNU Linux deflector screen. So they may push it back 10 years.
Say, is it going to be Linux powered, or has Microsoft got a hand in that one?
I think they will sign a truce, and go half and half. Is that fair?
Oh, goodness. Do you have any more news? Because I'm starting to fall asleep now.
No, I think I'm done.
All right. Well, hopefully next week we can have news and nonsense at the correct time, which is supposed to be when, Toss, today?
I'm sorry, my son just cracked the joke on that deflector thing. He says if Microsoft chips in to have, then it'll like self-destruct.
Well, it sounds like your son...
He's just being a smart aleck.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, but you have him hooked on Ubuntu too, don't you? Or is it Mint?
No, I don't think he has a machine yet, come to think of it. He uses his mom's sometime, but he gets stuck on the Xbox at home, and that's his thing, yeah.
Oh, well, you gotta be a good dad and give him a nice Linux machine to play on. Put Arch on it. That'll be good for him.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, all of you, for joining us tonight. Wow, we've got a full house here in the listening room. I think we just broke a record tonight for attendance. Thank you, all of you, for listening to us. Thank you, everybody who's participating with us as well on IRC. It's always good to have you. Next Sunday night, I think about 7:30, Toss, today, we'll do another News and Nonsense.
You know what? Let's, since it is summer, let's make them at 8 o'clock if that's okay with you.
All right, so we'll do 8 o'clock on Sunday nights. And, of course, the Link Zoo crew is also going to be here at 8 p.m. Saturday night. We are back, and we're bigger than ever, and we're going to keep these topics coming. If any of you guys have any ideas for the show, please put it in the space below, and we'll be happy to consider them. Next week's topic, I believe... it's yet to be determined, but we'll...
Next week's topic is losing your mind.
Only if it can be done in a bash prompt, and I'm sure there are many ways to do that. Thank you, all of you, for joining us, and we will see you next time.